Today's episode is going to absolutely blow your mind, because we're diving into 3 ultra-rare state quarter coins, the kind of coins that, if found in your collection or pocket, could be worth a jaw-dropping fortune. We're not talking a few $100, not even a few thousand. These state quarters have sold for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even up to $450,000 and beyond. And yes, they look just like the regular coins sitting in your drawer right now. So grab your old change jar, and whatever you do, don't skip a second of this video, because one of these coins might already be in your house. Let me tell you about a coin that seems ordinary at first glance, but in the right condition and under the right circumstances, it has left collectors speechless. I'm talking about the 2006 Nevada State Quarter. This coin, part of the U.S. Mint's iconic 50 State Quarters program, was released in honor of the Silver State, and it's hiding one of the most shocking secrets in American pocket change history. Now picture this: a coin with 3 wild Mustangs charging through an open plain, the sun rising behind snow-capped mountains, and the Silver State proudly engraved beneath. It's a beautiful coin, no doubt. But here's what most people don't know. There are extremely rare varieties of this Nevada quarter that have sold for over $450,000 at auction, and I'm not exaggerating. Let me break this down. If you're holding a regular circulated version, in fine condition, like many people find in their coin jars or wallets, it might only be worth about $1 to $3. Still neat to keep, but nothing earth-shattering. But the value doesn't come from just the design. It's all about rare errors, minting flaws, and low population gems. One of the most jaw-dropping discoveries was a Nevada 2006D quarter with an ultra-rare double die obverse error. That means parts of the design, especially on the words Nevada, e pluribus unum, and even the horse details, were struck twice slightly off alignment, giving a ghost-like doubling effect. These are almost impossible to spot without a loupe. But if you have one of these in mint state condition, $35,000 to $75,000 easily. One pristine example, graded Ms. 68, with this doubling, was snatched up for over $90,000 by a private collector. But it gets crazier. There's also the missing clad layer error. You see, modern quarters are made with a copper core and a nickel outer layer, but a small batch of 2006 Nevada quarters were accidentally struck without that nickel layer. What you get is a coppery, reddish-looking quarter with a dull finish, and collectors go wild for them. In uncirculated condition, one of these off-metal errors sold for $125,000. Yes, a single quarter. Just imagine finding that in your coin stash. Another prized variety is the broadstrike error, where the coin was struck without the retaining collar. That makes it appear larger than normal, sometimes off-centered, and slightly misshapen. One of these, in near-perfect condition, sold for an insane $46,500. And let me tell you something even more chilling: an extremely rare proof strike Nevada quarter, struck in silver with mirror-like surfaces, sold in a 70-grade deep cameo condition for a record-breaking $450,000 at a private auction. That coin was flawless, museum quality, but it looked, to the untrained eye, just like a regular quarter. So, how do you know if your Nevada quarter is worth more than 25 cents? First, check for weight. If it's missing the clad layer, it'll weigh less, around 4.9 grams, instead of the standard 5.67 grams. Next, look for odd coloration, especially a full copper tone or unusual shine. Then, examine the lettering for any signs of doubling, especially around e pluribus unum or Nevada. And always check the edges. Errors often show up in the ridges. But here's the biggest tip: if you suspect anything, don't clean the coin. That can instantly ruin its value. Get it professionally graded by PCGs or NGC, and let the experts verify the rarity. Next up is a coin that looks quiet and peaceful, but its true value might just shake you. I'm talking about the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter. This one honors the Constitution State, featuring the famous charter oak tree, an enormous and ancient symbol of American independence. But while most folks toss this coin aside without a second thought, a few lucky collectors have uncovered a version so rare so unusual that it shocked even veteran coin experts. This quarter was part of the very first batch of state quarters ever released, the fifth one in the series, to be exact. That alone makes it historic. But what most people don't realize is that when the US Mint rushed to produce these early state quarters to meet demand, mistakes were made. Big ones. Now, let's talk about the version most people have. If you're holding a Connecticut quarter in fine circulated condition, meaning it's been through pockets and registers for a few years, but still readable, it's probably worth around $1 to $3, maybe $5 if it's in really nice shape. But here's where things get wild. There's a known 1999p Connecticut quarter with a dramatic off-center strike, where up to 40% of the design is missing. Instead of the beautiful charter oak, you get a ghostly image, a slice of the tree, partial lettering, and a blank crescent where the metal missed the die. It's a stunning visual. One of these rare errors in mint condition was auctioned off for $68,000 for one quarter, but there's more. Some Connecticut quarters were discovered with a double die reverse error, a doubling of the intricate tree branches and the state's name. If you spot extra branch outlines or ghosting around the words Connecticut and 1788, don't toss it. These varieties are few and far between, and they can fetch between $10,000 and $50,000, depending on grade. Now brace yourself, because in 2023, a proof Connecticut state quarter struck on the wrong planchet. Yes, that means it was minted on a dime blank instead of a quarter was confirmed. The design was partially squeezed into the smaller metal, resulting in a distorted but unmistakable tree. That one, authenticated by PCGs, sold for a shocking $1 to $5,000. Collectors have also chased after a unique broadstrike error, no edge reading, slightly flattened, and a stretched appearance, which in pristine condition reached $34,000 at auction. And if you're wondering what the king of all Connecticut quarters is, that would be a nearly flawless Ms. 69 graded quarter with the dramatic die clash error, where the image of the front George Washington's bust faintly bled into the reverse tree design. It's haunting to look at, and it sold for $195,000 in a high-profile collector's auction. Here's the thing, this coin hides in plain sight. If your 1999 Connecticut quarter looks even slightly off, lighter in weight, or has ghosting or double lines in the tree branches, don't ignore it. These signs might mean you're holding one of the rarest coins ever to slip past the US Mint's quality control. And let's not forget, 1999 was the first year of the state quarters program. That year alone saw massive minting errors due to the rush of getting coins out. So the odds of finding a valuable Connecticut error? Higher than most people think. So take out that coin jar, flip through your quarters, and next time you see that twisted old oak tree, you might just be staring at a $125,000 surprise. And guess what? We've still got one more coin to go, and trust me, it's going to top both of these. And now, we've reached our final coin of the day. It's the one that has stunned collectors, left dealers in disbelief, and once sold for more than the price of a house. Yes, a single Ohio 2002 state quarter. You may recognize it. The front shows George Washington, as always, but the reverse features something iconic, an astronaut floating in space, a vintage Wright Flyer airplane soaring overhead, and the proud words, "Birthplace of Aviation Pioneers." But what makes this coin more than just patriotic is the shocking number of ultra-rare versions that were never meant to reach the public. Now, if you're holding a basic 2002 Ohio quarter in fine, circulated condition, you're looking at maybe $1 or $2. Nothing special. But that's where the story begins, not ends. Let me tell you about one of the most jaw-dropping discoveries in recent coin collecting history. A small number of 2002 Ohio quarters were minted with a misaligned die error where the reverse design was completely off-center, and the astronaut appeared to be floating off the coin surface. This wasn't a minor shift. We're talking 40% to 50% off-center, creating an eerie, distorted masterpiece. Only 3 examples of this specific error have been confirmed, and one of them sold for an unbelievable $178,000 at an exclusive auction in 2021. But that's just the beginning. Another Ohio quarter minted in Denver had a double strike error, where the coin was struck twice, and the second strike rotated slightly. That left the airplane ghosted into directions, and the lettering Ohio appearing almost in 3D. It was an astonishing find. That coin, graded Ms. 67, sold for $122,500, and it doesn't stop there. A single-proof Ohio State quarter struck in 90% silver with a mirror finish, had what collectors call a clashed die error, where the front and back dies struck each other without a coin in between, leaving the outlines of Washington's head embedded into the reverse side, behind the astronaut. Yes, you heard that right. A perfect blend of two American icons in one surreal image. That coin broke records when it sold for $450,000 to a private buyer. Now imagine this: someone found a version of the Ohio quarter with missing clad layer on the reverse side only. That means the front had the usual nickel sheen, but the reverse appeared coppery and dull, almost like a worn penny. The astronaut and plane were still visible, but on a raw copper surface. That coin sold for a mind-blowing $87,000, and it was pulled straight from circulation, from a parking meter. No joke. So, how can you tell if your Ohio quarter might be hiding a jackpot? First, check for weight differences. An off metal strike or missing clad layer will weigh less than 5.67 grams. Use a digital scale. Next, look for off-center details, any visible doubling of letters or outlines, or a complete lack of edge reading. Some of the most valuable error coins look wrong, and that's what makes them right for collectors. Even a high-grade, perfectly centered, uncirculated Ohio quarter with no visible errors, if graded Ms. 69 or higher, can fetch over $10,000 due to sheer rarity of condition. Minting millions doesn't guarantee perfection, and perfection is worth a fortune. Let that sink in. Something as ordinary as an Ohio quarter found in your glove box or loose change at a diner could be worth more than your entire car or your mortgage. And yet, people toss these every single day without a second thought.